Welcome, and today I am going to dig into one of the latest Amazon policy changes, and it's really related to deposits that Amazon sends to you. So as the CEO or the CMO managing an established business, staying ahead of these updates is going to be crucial for knowing your cash flow, especially if Amazon is one of your key channels. Now, effective October 9th, 2024, Amazon will update its fund withholding policy. So by the time this video is out, it's probably after that date. It's now called the Funds Disbursement Eligibility Policy. So the goal is really they want to help improve kind of transparency around if any funds in your account are withheld, why that is happening. So kind of the steps too that brands need to take to then maybe appeal certain funds that are being withheld, and then also how Amazon is even going to evaluate those appeals. Amazon's policy is going to outline the funds that may be withheld if, for instance, your seller account is deactivated due to what they see as being fraudulent, deceptive, or illegal activity. So this includes things like counterfeit goods, if you're falsifying documents, if you're misrepresenting your identity. And if you want to learn more about suspension types, you can check out this video I did here. It's going to talk more about that. Now, Amazon withholds funds to really settle any outstanding transactions that they have. So think of things like returns or refunds and any fees that the seller account might owe until that issue is resolved. Now, some key changes. This is really where the policy has been updated. So one of the things, like I said, it's October 9th in 2024. The appeal window has now been shortened. So it used to be 90 days. It is now shortened to 60 days. That's one of the key things I want you to remember. The next thing is the policy has been renamed, and Amazon does this quite a bit. So sometimes it's a little bit hard to keep up with, but now it's called the Funds Disbursement Eligibility Policy, okay? So you may remember I did another recent video here where I kind of talked about Amazon shortening the video for reimbursements and reconciliations. I actually did like a short video on that topic. If you want to check that out, just click on the Click Fluency button and you'll be able to find a short that way. If your account is deactivated, you will now, like I said, have only 60 days. You used to have 90 days, and that's to appeal and resolve the issue. So if your appeal is successful, your funds that Amazon has been holding, they will be released according to kind of your typical disbursement schedule. However, if your account isn't reinstated, or you don't appeal, or you choose not to appeal for some reason, you can request a fund disbursement after 90 days by contacting Amazon directly. So if you follow Amazon's rules for using their platform, like I hope that you're doing when you're watching this, that you're not one of those people doing those things. So that shouldn't be an issue for you, but it is good to have this information in case something did happen. I want you to be aware of it. Now, how does this impact your business? So whether you're selling on Amazon or maybe even other platforms, it is really helpful to make sure that you know what is happening with income and that your accounts stay protected. So I'm going to share with you 3 ways to really safeguard your business during this transition. And the first is make sure you're reviewing your Amazon seller account regularly. Make it a habit to check your account status. Watch for any notifications like those performance notifications. I know Amazon by default will send you a lot of emails. If you're interested, I can do a video where I would share how to turn off those and how to send those emails to certain people that need to be notified on your team. But they send a lot of emails, so don't overlook those. And Amazon could notify you about account deactivation. They would email you, and it would also show up in your performance notification tab. Now, also, if they have any policy changes, listings, that kind of stuff, you always want to be paying attention. Now, I do have an older video, and it's here if you want to watch it. And I talk a lot about using your seller app on your phone, which is great because you can then check your account. Even if you're busy and you're going, you can literally have the app on your phone, pull it up, make sure everything is okay at bare minimum with your account. Now, I do obviously dig into more helpful features to check daily, but that'll kind of keep you with your bases covered, making sure nothing happens with your account. Another thing is to really strengthen compliance processes. So you want to really double down on really ensuring that your products are meeting Amazon's policies, especially with counterfeit goods. That is actually a major reason for them withholding funds, and that should go without saying, but I am going to mention it here. So hopefully, like I said, everyone watching realizes that you should be very careful not to intentionally, obviously, but also unintentionally do that with counterfeiting. Now, prepare for possible fund holds. So you do want to maintain liquidity within your funds and your earnings outside of Amazon, because you don't want your business to be so disrupted by a temporary fund hold. So that's really, I think, sound business advice for anyone. But if your business is really struggling with this and you kind of want a very simple, book, I would recommend, there's a book called Profit First by Michalowicz. It's really good to really kind of make sure that you always have some cash saved so that you're not just depending on Amazon's disbursements to your company. Now, to avoid issues with fund withholding, it's essential to stay compliant with Amazon's policies. So that means you should be providing them with accurate information about your products and your business, and ensuring that you're not doing any activity that could be seen as shady or flagged, deceptive, things like that. So make sure your business practices are really aligned with Amazon standards to prevent any potential disruptions to your cash flow. So this is very important. Now, here's kind of a quick comparison of the old and the new policies, because I think that's going to be helpful. Old policy, 90-day appeal window. Remember, the new policy, it only has a 60-day appeal window. Old policy, there was a lot less transparency really around like the funds that were withheld. In other words, you kind of weren't sure why those funds were being withheld. Their new policy, they do want clearer guidelines for you on when and why the funds are withheld, and then how to appeal. So that's a good change. Kind of what does the potential impact for different sellers because of this. So now if you're an established brand, an established seller on Amazon, like most of you watching this, the main impact is going to be that shorter appeal window. That's going to be really what you're needing to pay attention to. So make sure your team is aligned, make sure you're responding quickly if any issues do arise on your account. Now, for growing brands, if you're really looking at scaling your business and you're moving things a lot quickly, your focus should be on really compliance and making sure your product is authentic, to avoid any kind of delays in disbursements. Because if you're trying to grow and scale up, it's going to be very hard if you have funds being held. Now, Amazon's approach is going to really be strict because they want to do both things. They want to protect the customers, but they also want to protect sellers from shady practices. These policy changes, they're going to mean like there's going to be quicker action that's going to be required on your part for appealing and for resolving issues, like I said, especially with that new time frame. Now, while you're thinking about new policies, you also would want to probably check out this video I did here where I talk about updates to the product listing requirements. And this is kind of what you need to know before you add any new products to your catalog on Amazon.